Hello again and welcome to Turkey Valley at 50 as we continue our journey through the years of the first 50 at Turkey Valley. And on this video we're going to hear interviews with Ron Donn, who spent 28 years of his life as principal of the Turkey Valley Senior and Junior High School from the mid-60s all the way into the 90s. And we will also hear from John Cuvelier, who's been a very integral part of the formation of the anniversary. He's been on the committee, and he also serves on the school board. John was a graduate of Turkey Valley back in 1974. You're going to see pictures throughout this video, and we're going to have future videos dealing with each of the decades where we're going to have tons of photos, probably stretching right around 2,000 of students all the way from 1960 through 2010. Hope you enjoy it. It's brought to you by the Farmers Mill in Prodovan and John Cuvelier of Insurance Associates of Lawler. Right now, let's go to Mr. Ron Donn as he's going to fill us in on what it was like during the late 1960s when the parochial schools, mainly in Prodovan and in St. Lucas, closed the high schools, and then elementaries followed. And they had a heck of a problem on their hand as far as space went at Turkey Valley, but they did have an expansion going on, and that did ease quite a bit of it. Mr. Donn will also talk about Keith O'Connell and his leadership and what it meant to the growth of Turkey Valley. Here is Mr. Donn.
Well, Randy, thank you for this opportunity to participate in this 50th anniversary celebration of Turkey Valley. Obviously, during all of my years, there were lots of challenges every day of being principal, but particularly during those 60s when I began at Turkey Valley. When I first began, I do not recall the total enrollment figure, but I remember we had 6 sections of half-day kindergarten and only 1 section of grades 1 through 6. Upon completion of kindergarten, most of those students returned to their hometown Catholic schools for grades 1 through 8. The enrollment in grades 7 through 12 was around 360 students. That soon changed as the high schools in Prodovan and St. Lucas closed in 1967 and 68. Fortunately, a bond issue had been passed to add another third to the original size of the building. However, during the 1968-69 school year, before the new edition of that building opened that fall of 1969, we were really pressed for classroom space. So much so that there was not rooms available for 4 or 5 sections of American history for juniors and American government for seniors. So we scheduled those students into 1 section for each grade and taught them with 2 teachers the best we could in the music auditorium. We continued to grow in the next few years as the Catholic schools closed grades 7 through 8, and some eventually closed the entire elementary school. During those high enrollment years, the problem continued for classroom space with some classes, particularly junior high students. We had some classes that were much too large, but we had no choice. For several years, we had double industrial arts classes, and home economics classes, and double physical education teachers or classes, every period of every day. Plus, we had 2 full-time art teachers. We reached a peak enrollment of 1,234 students in the fall of 1973, or perhaps 74, including special education students. Kindergarten children were sent to the old Fort Atkinson building as there was not space for them in Jackson. When school began that fall, we had 730 students in grades 7 through 12, and averaged about 118 students per class for a few years. When I retired in 1993, the grades 7 through 12 enrollment was almost exactly the same as it was when I began in 1965, 360 students. In regard to Mr. O'Connell, I've often wondered where I would be if Keith O'Connell had not hired me over the telephone from Pasadena, California in the spring of 1965 and given me the opportunity to be secondary principal. Mr. O'Connell and those early board members are to be commended for getting a bond issue passed to build a new public school building in a dominantly Catholic communities, which at first included only Lawler, Waukoma, and Fort Atkinson. For 29 years, Mr. O'Connell led the district forward and was the hardest working school administrator I ever worked for as a teacher and principal. The taxpayers of the district always got their money's worth from that man, and now the district has flourished for 50 years.
Mr. Ron Donn, who spent 28 years of his life, he retired about 17 years ago, will be 79 years of age in just a few days as we're doing this report. And we'll be back with more and John Cuvelier right after this. Tradition. It takes years to establish. Like Turkey Valley, the Farmers Mill in Protivin has established a tradition of excellence stretching all the way back to the 1960s. As farming changed, so has the Farmers Mill. The Merricks have made sure through the years they have been able to provide the product and the knowledge to help the area farmers be able to produce the food necessary to feed the world while maintaining profitability. Through thick and thin, the Farmers Mill in Protivin has been a leader, not only in their business, but in the community as well. From check days, to Boy Scouts, to church activities and school happenings, both at Trinity and Turkey Valley, the Merricks and their staff have provided hands-on volunteerism to help build stronger communities. Yes, it is a tradition of excellence, in more ways than one, that has been established by the Farmers Mill in Protivin, serving the farmer and the community since 1964.
Talking with John Cuvelier, a graduate of Turkey Valley back in 1974 and a current school board member and also a member of the anniversary committee. Very important for us to be celebrating this 50th anniversary at Turkey Valley.
Oh, definitely. Any time you have an opportunity to celebrate something like 50 years, you have to jump on that with both feet and go for it. And actually, it's really bringing the communities back, not back together, they've been together, but is bringing all of those who have been gone for such a long time back. And we all have roots here. Right. Some of us have stayed here, others have taken and put their roots elsewhere, but they still have roots here. So definitely, it's an opportunity and a time for celebration.
Happy 50th, Turkey Valley, and all you great students and parents through the years, from John Cuvelier of Insurance Associates of Lawler. John really is a community guy. He's concerned about what goes on in the Turkey Valley family. He's also someone that will give you absolutely outstanding service when it comes to your insurance needs. Service, something we don't get a whole lot of these days. But John Cuvelier of Insurance Associates of Lawler will give you the best possible service. That is his main selling point. And another biggie, it also falls in line with service. Since John Cuvelier is an independent agent, he can look at several companies to find the best possible solution and price for your insurance needs, no matter where you live in Iowa. For your auto, your home, your farm, your crop, your commercial insurance needs, give him a shot. John Cuvelier of Insurance Associates of Lawler. Click on his card on this page for more information. Well, that's it for this segment of Turkey Valley at 50 as we salute the students during the last 50 years of Turkey Valley. Hope you're enjoying it. We're going to have many segments, one for each decade, and then we're going to have more for you once the anniversary event gets underway. So every few days we're going to shoot something new to you as far as a page goes over the next couple of weeks. So keep coming back. Pass the word as well. Turkey Valley at 50. This segment brought to you by John Cuvelier of Insurance Associates of Lawler and the Farmers Mill in Protivin. I'm Randy Novotny, wishing you nothing but the very best, and remember, this is Turkey Valley at 50.